Hello friends, welcome back to another vlog. It is Saturday. It's been a nice relaxing day really. I got my chores done this morning and I've been reading, watching TV, which has been so nice, and it's just been relaxing. So just wanted to, kick off the vlog, say hello. I haven't been feeling the greatest today, which isn't great, but we're just pushing through. So I have an hour left of Knock Knock Open Wide, and it's truly getting so creepy and scary. I'm loving it. It's so good and it's just so well done. I'm quite enjoying it. So definitely going to be finishing that tonight, although I want to try to finish it as close to midnight as possible so it will count as an October read, because I don't want this book to be part of my September wrap up, because this technically is for my October TBR. I don't want to be reading my October TBR in September. I want to keep that in its own month. So I'm really excited to be finishing this book before its release date on Tuesday, so I will be finishing that for sure in this vlog and writing my reviews, sending that off to the publisher, because I was sent this book, which was so amazing and unexpected. I just asked for it on a whim and I got accepted, which is crazy. So I also plan on finishing my audiobook, which is Ink Blood Sister Scribe. I have an hour and a half left of that. I don't really feel like listening to an audiobook anymore today. I listened to a decent chunk of it this morning, so I think I'll just finish that tomorrow. And then I am still reading My Heart is a Chainsaw as well, which I will probably finish later in this video, but I don't plan on finishing it this weekend in particular. I have that audiobook for work currently, just to listen to while I'm working on simple data entry tasks. So that's kind of the plan. I should be able to start a new audiobook and a new physical read tomorrow. I kind of have an idea of when I want to go for it. It's definitely going to be from my October TBR stack, which, looking at it over there, it's kind of huge. So if I could start making my way through it, that would be great. Thankfully, a lot of it is horror and thrillers, and it's not a lot of heavy dense fantasy. I think I only actually have 2 fantasy books on my TBR for October, which is really nice break. I feel like I've been getting a little burnt out recently with reading, which is why I'm going to be spending the rest of the year after October really laying off reading. I'm obviously going to be reading and I'll still be making videos, but I'm not going to be trying to read 12 to 15 books a month like I have been the last couple of months. I'm really gonna try to focus on my big books, specifically A Day of Fallen Night and some newer releases that have just come in that are quite big, like The Fragile Threads of Power by V.E. Schwab. I really want to read that. And there's a few other big chunkers that I've gotten in the mail recently, pre-orders, that I really want to read. And I am not gonna let 2023 go by without reading A Day of Fallen Night. I will be so mad at myself if I don't at least start it, because Prior is one of my absolute favorite books of all time. So for me to not even read the prequel in the year that it was released, unacceptable. So my goal in November is to kind of just relax, just kind of read some big chunks, and just call it a day, So that's the plan, but the plan for now is to just work on all my creepy books, and I'm excited about it. So not too much is going on this weekend. Like I said, it's pretty chill, but my brother and my niece and nephew are going to my parents' house for dinner in a little bit. So whenever they're there, I'm gonna walk down, we're gonna eat dinner and hang out, play with them, and then they'll go home, and then I'll probably just come home. And then tomorrow we're just doing a few chores. My parents like to store their outdoor furniture, their swing and patio set, in my shed, because my shed is quite big and it's quite empty. I don't store a lot of stuff in there, and the stuff that is in there is from the previous homeowners that I've just kept because I might as well. I don't need to get rid of it because I have the space to keep it. So I haven't even bothered getting rid of anything. So there's plenty of room for all that. So I think they're going to bring up that furniture and we're going to put it away and kind of reorganize the shed a little bit. It's a little crazy in there. There's just some things that need to be put on shelves and some big timbers and stuff that need to get moved. So that's really the only thing I had planned for tomorrow, besides reading a ton. and knitting. I'm making good progress on my genre blanket, although I am very rapidly running out of the mustard colored yarn I have. So I need desperately to go to Michael's, which my mom and I are gonna do Monday at lunch because I need it so bad. Like I am like running out, and mustard is my color for fantasy reads. So I need that yarn because I have so many fantasy books that I've read. So hopefully they have that yarn at Michael's, because I tried ordering it online and I did not get the right color. So I immediately returned it. So I really need to buy yarn in person because I don't trust what the online pictures are showing, and I don't have the name of the yarn because, you know, I threw away the packaging, which is dumb, but it's fine. If I can color match it, that'd be perfect. I actually took a little snip of it, like literally cut a little piece out of it. I'm gonna bring that with me to the store and color match it. But anyways, that's kind of what's going on at the moment. So I'm gonna go and maybe go exercise. Like I feel like I say this in every vlog, but I'm doing terrible with keeping up with exercising. I'm just so stupid busy. It's ridiculous. But I also have a lot of medical things going on right now, and it's really making it hard to work out. So that's not been fun either. But we're trying. We're really trying. It's not really working. We're trying. So anyways, toodaloo. So the author of Knock Knock Open Wide liked my review of his book on Goodreads. That is wild. I was not expecting that, but I was checking my notifications on Goodreads, and I was also hopping on there to grab the books that I read from September so I can film my wrap up. And I just saw that. I'm like, what? That's crazy. Like, I kind of feel self-conscious now that the authors read my review. I wrote that review this morning at like 8 a.m. So I feel like it may not have been the most conclusive review. Like I don't think it was like the most well thought out review, but I like the book, so at least there's that. I hate it when authors like my reviews that I didn't like their books, which doesn't happen like very often, but I think it's happened once and I'm like, that's awkward. So anyways, just want to pop on here, say hello. So yeah, I don't think I've talked to you since I finished Knock Knock Open Wide. I finished that really late last night, literally 12:01. I finished it and I loved it. I'm still thinking about it this morning. Like, it's so good, and it's just one of those books that I think is gonna hold on to me for a while. I'm like, wow, that was like really good and so unexpected in the best way possible. I just loved it. Like, it was so good. So definitely recommend that. Please read it. I gave it a very high 4-star. Like, it's almost 5 stars for me. It's just, I don't know, something's gonna hold me back from giving it a 5, and I don't really have an explanation other than that. But I did also start How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix as well. I am reading my library copy, but I don't have it next to me, so I'm not gonna bother grabbing it because I really don't feel that great, so I don't feel like moving. But yeah, I cried within the first like 5 pages of starting that book. My biggest fear is what's going to happen when my parents pass away, and that's exactly how this book opens, is with our main character finding out that her parents have died in a car crash. And it was just like so sad, and she's just like, wow, I'm an orphan now, and I just started crying. And I'm also just not feeling the greatest, so I feel like my emotions might be running a little higher than normal because like I'm just not feeling great. So I don't know, I don't even know if that makes sense, but you know, I normally don't like start off crying reading a book, so that was weird. But I am liking it. It's going pretty good, so I don't really have many thoughts. Like I said, I'm only a little bit into it. And then I do plan on starting a new audiobook tomorrow. I do want to start the Final Girl Support Group, I think it's called, which is the Grady Hendrix book that I got the other day. The audiobook came in from my library, so I do want to listen to that. It's not on my October TBR, but it's spooky, it fits this season, and it's an audiobook, which I don't have too many audiobooks from my October TBR to listen to, so I don't mind listening to something that's not on my TBR for the month. But yeah, that's kind of how the reading's been going. It's been a very busy day. So I got up, had breakfast with my parents, and then we immediately got to working on fall chores. There are so many fall chores. Like, I don't know if other places have as many fall chores as Alaska, but like I feel like we really have to start prepping for winter now. So my dad and I were taking care of the leaves outside. We worked on my roof a little bit. Like, the roof is fine, but you know, getting the leaves off the roof, getting the gutters cleaned out, organizing my shed, put all my parents like outdoor furniture they had in my shed since they don't have room, and washed all the windows inside and out, which was very desperately in need of doing because my windows were filthy. And thankfully all my windows, even though my house is a 2-story house, we were able to reach most of the 2nd-story windows because there's like a bank that you can reach the windows from if you use a ladder. And most of the house, like a good portion of it, is underground, which is weird. Like, the back side of the 1st story is underground, but the rest of it isn't. So it's just kind of interesting. But anyways, we were able to get all the windows washed, and then we blew all the leaves off the driveway, away from the yard, and did my deck and all that. So at least that's done. It's probably gonna be need doing again because I have so many trees around the house, which I hate. Like, I love the trees, but I hate how close they are. Like, I have a tree that's literally growing through my deck. Like, what? So that's just something to take care of later when I have the money to deal with that, because I got a quote for that a couple months ago and it was gonna be like a huge amount of money. So it's like, that can wait. So yeah, that's basically what I spent my entire day doing, and we just finished at like 4 o'clock. So I just went and laid on the couch for like an hour because I was in so much pain. I'm not doing great. Like, the last couple of days I've just been in a very weird feeling. Like, I don't know, my body's just doing all sorts of weird things and I really don't feel that great. So hoping it goes away soon, because I really don't want to spend like 8 hours at first care, which is basically how it goes, because you get there like as soon as they open and you probably won't leave until they close, which is just how it is there. So I'm avoiding that as at all costs if I can help it. So we're just gonna keep chugging along, and I hope things start to feel better, but whatever. So that's where we're at. But I told myself, if we're going to be skipping a workout again today because I physically just can't, I'm in so much pain, then we're going to film a wrap up then. Like, I gotta do something productive. Can't just be laying watching TV all day. So that's what I'm gonna do next, is film my wrap up. So at least that is filmed, and maybe start editing that as well so I could get it up sooner rather than later. But as long as it's filmed, the editing part is at least the easiest. So I'm gonna get to working on that, and then I need to put my laundry away and make lunch for tomorrow and just get ready for work for tomorrow. I'm excited to realize that I am not gonna work a full week in October, because tomorrow I leave at 4. On Friday I only work half a day, and then the next week after that I work until 3:30 on Friday. So that's awesome. And then the next week we get Wednesday the 18th off, and then I think I do work the last week of October, the 23rd week. So like I work that full week, but like otherwise I'm taking like little chunks of time off every week, so I'm not working, you know, like a full 40 hours every week, which is so nice. Like, I kind of love that. But anyways, that is gonna be it for this update, and I'll chat with you all later, hopefully feeling better. I'm so sick of feeling this way. Look at y'all, it's the first snow of the season. Ah! This lighting is super atrocious. It's like 7:30 in the morning. I am just about to leave for work, but I had to show you all, it's the first snow. It's October 2nd. It usually does snow a little bit right before my mom's birthday, which is on the 6th. So she's here right on time, but oh my goodness. I don't have my snow tires on, but it's fine. It's not like a lot. It's really just a dusting, so the roads should be just fine in my summer tires, but it'll be all fine. I just like, oh, snow! Hello, it has been a wild week, which I feel like I just say in every vlog, but it's true. It has been crazy. It's already Tuesday. It's like Tuesday night, and I haven't talked to you all in what feels like weeks. But hello. So I have reading updates and life updates and all the updates. So First of all, still not feeling the greatest. I did make an doctor's appointment today and took my lunch and went over there. And basically she just ordered a bunch of tests and did like an exam, and she's like, you look fine. I'm like, that's great, but I don't feel fine. I just hate going to the doctors, and it's almost like they don't believe that you're sick. And I feel like this is especially true for women. Like almost every time I go to the doctors and I have some sort of pain that somewhat resembles like period cramps or something to do with my period, they're like, oh, it's just that. I'm like, oh no, no, it's not. I know what that feels like, and this ain't it. And I just wish doctors would like listen to you. And I've noticed even like doctors who are also women do this to me too. It's like the medical industry is like brainwashing doctors into just being like, oh, if you're a woman and you have periods, yeah, that's all it is. That's all it will ever be. I'm like, I don't really know if that's true, because I've been having this horrible stabbing pain in like my left kind of side, like, you know, off to the side, and they're like, it's probably just stomach cramps. I'm like, no, it ain't. I know what that feels like, and that is not it. So she did order a bunch of tests, so I have an ultrasound that they'll be scheduling, and did blood work and all that. So at least we're doing that, but all of my tests are coming back fine. Like, I did have blood work done a couple weeks ago, and she's like, oh yeah, it was perfect. I'm like, I don't feel perfect. So annoying. So I don't know what's up, and it's making it really hard to do like everything. So that's just great, and it's super great for the self-esteem because it really hurts to work out. So I haven't really been able to work out very much, and the scale is showing that, and it's just a great time. I really hope the sarcasm is coming across, and I apologize if sarcasm is not easily understood. Like, sometimes I have a hard time understanding if people are like being sarcastic or not, but I'm laying it on thick, hopefully. So being real sarcastic. But anywho, let's get into the fun reading stuff, because the life stuff ain't real fun right now. It is my favorite month of the entire year, so I'm really trying to like ignore all the issues that my body is just developing and just enjoy October, because it's my favorite month of all time, and there's just so much good fun happening. That sounded real weird, but you know what I mean. Good fun just sounds like something like from the like 1800s something. It's good fun, you know, ridiculous. What I'm trying to say is there's a lot of fun things happening in October, and I want to stay excited for it, but it's hard to be excited for things right now when I don't feel great and I'm just in constant pain and nothing helps. So that's where we're at, but let's talk about books. So I am physically reading How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I don't think I've even mentioned that I am starting this, so I started this over the weekend, and I am currently 121 pages into it, and I cried within the very first page of this book. So we follow our main character who has just found out that her parents have died in a car crash, and she is going back home to kind of deal with the estate and figure out what they're going to do. She does have a younger brother who I absolutely hate. I hate him so much. I don't think I've hated a character this strongly since one of the characters from Robin Hobb's universe. Like, I hate him so strongly. He is so obnoxious. He is so demeaning to her, and he is just, oh, I just hate everything about him. So hate that, but we're following her, and there's some weird creepy things happening in this house that used to be their parents' house, and the TV will just come on randomly, and it's always on like the paid programming channel, which just shows like a bunch of commercials for things all the time. And then there's also some really creepy puppets and dolls that are in her parents' house, because her mom was like an artist. She loved creating puppets, and I think she even had like a puppet show that she would do like at their church or something. So she has a ton of puppets that she's made, and they're everywhere. And the only thing that our main character has inherited from her parents is the puppet collection, which is just So creepy. So she's trying to get rid of the really super scary ones because she's kind of traumatized by them because her mom would use them to like tell the bedtime stories, but then she's kind of had nightmares about them her entire life, which don't blame her at all. I probably would too. So it's interesting, but it is kind of slow. Like this is a really long book and it feels very just contemporary-ish to me, but I feel like Grady Hendrix's books always seem to start off really contemporary, slow, kind of meh, and then by like the midpoint to the end, I'm hooked. So I'm just kind of holding out for that because I think it's on its way, but it is a little boring at the moment, but it's still good, and I am curious what's gonna happen. And then my current work audiobook is Brizinger by Christopher Paolini, which is book 3 in the Aragon universe. So I'm rereading this. It's going pretty good. This one's pretty slow going, but I am 152 pages into this. I'm trying to listen to like 10% of this every day at work if I can. Obviously work takes precedence, but if I'm just like doing my data entry stuff, I'm just listening to this. But if something more pressing happens, obviously pausing this, putting it aside, doing that. But it's kind of a slow part of my job right now. Like there's usually about like a week and a half or so that it's really slow like every month. So that's kind of why I listen to an audiobook at work, is like for that time. The other weeks of the month are usually pretty busy, but we just kind of have cycles because our grant reporting can only happen after a certain time. So I'm kind of waiting for that, and that will happen later this week. But anywho, and my other audiobook that I'm listening to like in the morning and stuff is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I got the audiobook for this from my library and I've been listening to it and I'm enjoying it. I kind of wish I was physically reading it because there's actually like these newspaper clippings in here, which I think is really cool, and I kind of wish I was seeing that rather than hearing it because it's not very clear that it's happening in the audiobook. It's just kind of like, wait, what? So I'm partially following along in the physical book. I'm mainly just like checking to see if there's any of these and just like being like, oh, okay, that's what that was. So I am glad I have the physical book to refer back to because it's kind of a confusing audiobook by itself. But this one's going pretty good so far. So we're following a group of women who meet for like these therapy sessions almost, and they're all final girls in some sort of tragic accident that they have all experienced in separate occasions. And it's interesting, like it's interesting to think of like all these final girls coming together. And so one of the final girls is dead, and I think they're gonna try to maybe figure out what happened. But our main character is super paranoid. Like she is extremely paranoid, which makes sense for what she's been through, and it's kind of interesting to read. So this is going well. And then I did get my Illumicrate box for September, I think it was, and I already put all the stuff away, but I will show you the book. But if you haven't received your box or don't want spoilers, you could just skip ahead. So the book for the month was A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, which I actually have on hold right now at the library to listen to. And oh, this edition is just stunning. And it has like books on the edge, and it has gorgeous end pages. And just wait till you see the naked book because it's a stunner. Look! Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. And then look at that spine. On the back is like a dark academia dream. I'm obsessed. So I don't know when I'll get to this, probably whenever the audiobook comes into my loan list or whatever. But yeah, that's all I really have for reading updates. I'm just trying to make my way through my ginormous October TBR because this is going to be my last huge month for reading because I have like 15 books on my TBR and I'm making good progress on them. But from here on out for like the rest of the year, which is really only 2 months, I really want to just chill, relax. I need to get to A Day of Fallen Night. So I'm just gonna really chill back on the reading because I'm just feeling a little burnt out from reading. I have been integrating more TV watching into my schedule, which has really helped and not made me feel like all I do is read, because I do love watching TV. I have a lot of TV shows that I love and want to keep up with, and more shows that I do want to watch. So it's nice to be breaking up my reading with that on the weekends rather than like literally just reading. I just feel so pressured to read all the time sometimes, and I just gotta be like, you know what? I never used to. Like, I never used to read all the time. BookTube made me read all the time. Like, in like 2017, 2018, before I joined BookTube, I was reading maybe like 50 books a year, if that. Now my new normal is like 100, and that's a lot. And you know what? It's okay to not read so much and all the time. But anyways, I really need to go kind of get ready for bed, get everything sorted out for tomorrow. It's already Wednesday, which is great. I have one more full day and I work a half day on Friday, which I'm so excited. And then it's gonna be a super fun afternoon with my mom, which I think I talked about, but I'm so excited for that. So we just gotta hold out, people. We're almost there. So anywho, I will chat with you all later. Hello, welcome to the kitchen. I apologize for the lack of updates this week. I truly feel like I have been slacking on vlogging. It's because I've just been spiraling like all week. I'm trying to stay excited for October because October is my favorite, but I have just been feeling awful since like the beginning of October. I've just, not been feeling the absolute greatest, and I've kind of been a little slumpy this week. Also, looking at how many books I kind of have to read for October, I'm just feeling like, wow, I've really gotten myself into a big TBR for October because there's just so many good spooky things that I want to read. But is it realistic I'm gonna read like 15, 16 books this month? Probably not. Because October is also a very busy month. I literally have a party like every single weekend, which is like so unusual for me. I am not a party person, but you know what? It's fine. So like tomorrow's my mom's birthday, which is super exciting. So taking half a day off, we're gonna go bowling and have a great time. It'll be super fun. Then on Saturday, I have my D&D session, which I'm so nervous about, but excited. And then on Sunday, I'm hosting brunch at my house, so I desperately need to like spend all of Saturday cleaning because this house is not even remotely close to being ready for company. And then the next weekend is my birthday. So on Saturday, we're doing a Halloween party, birthday party for me, because I wanted like to do a Halloween party, but the only weekend that's available is the weekend of my birthday. So it's a Halloween birthday party. So fun. So we have that on Saturday, and then on Sunday is my actual birthday. And then the week after that, I have nothing, I think. I think that's like the only weekend. Wait, let me check the calendar. Okay, yeah, so there's literally one weekend of nothing, and then on the 28th, I have a gothic Halloween party to go to. That's being hosted by one of my friends at book club. So it's truly wild. Like, I have not had such a busy month, like, at all this year, but it's all my favorite. Like, it's all fun stuff, which is fun. So yeah, it's just been crazy. Oh, and then also the cats have a vet appointment next week, which is nothing serious. They just need a wellness check to look everything over and make sure they're doing okay. I scheduled them at the same time on the same day because otherwise they get really snippy to each other because one or the other will smell like vet, and then they're like mean to each other the rest of the day. So if they both go, then they both smell, and then they can't be mean to each other. That's my logic, and it works. So yeah, I have been reading. So let's go to my room real quick and we'll chat about the books. Hello, this is a very weird angle. I have my tripod set up differently, but I kind of like it. Like, you're on my vanity, so you get to like see my tree and also my bookshelves. It's kind of spooky. I kind of like it. So I am still physically reading How to Sell a Haunted House. I am currently 250 pages in. I really want to finish this book this weekend because I just have so many books I want to read. Most of them, if not all of them, are required books I need to read this month because I am participating in Spookopoly-thon and 3 book clubs. So I have at least 3 books I need to get through for book clubs, and I have several books I need to get through for Spookopoly-thon. But I've also decided that if I don't read my Spookopoly-thon TBR, it's gonna be fine. It's not like Becca's gonna have some grudge against me for not reading the books for her readathon, you know? It's like she doesn't even know who I am, so like it doesn't even matter, but I feel like it matters. And like I definitely want to read those books, but I have to remind myself it's just a readathon. There is literally no consequences that will affect me in any way, shape, or form if I don't read those books. So I need to remember that because it doesn't matter. It's just for fun. So like I said, reading this, it's going going okay. This book is really slow, and I think I mentioned this earlier, but Grady Hendrix definitely takes his time building up a plot in his horror books, which is fine, but this one's like incredibly slow to the point where I feel like we're just kind of waiting for something to happen. It's like, okay, come on. Like, there has been creepy things happening, especially with these puppets. Oh my gosh. Like, okay, I love the Muppets. I do. But every other puppet and doll is just creepy. Like, they just creep me out. And I don't like them. They're real creepy. And Pupkin in this book, he's one of the puppets. Terrifying. And not a fan. So it's going fine. I just feel like there's a lot of meandering in this story, and I feel like we're getting a lot of character background that I just don't care about. Like, I know it's helping the story and it is fleshing out these characters and it's making the story make sense, but it's just boring, at least for me. So kind of disappointed that this is not the fun, spooky, creepy house story that I thought it was going to be. Plus, this is for our in real life book club, so I'm really curious what others are thinking, which I won't know until book club because we don't rate the books on Goodreads until after book club. So this honestly feels like a 3-star to me at the moment. It's just fine. And the other book that I'm reading by Grady Hendrix, The Final Girl Support Group, I'm really enjoying. Like, I don't love it, but I think I'm enjoying this one more than How to Sell a Haunted House. So I'm currently, I don't even know how many pages, 100 pages into this. I really need to start listening to more of this. And the rest of my October TBR should be coming in the mail tomorrow because I have Out There Screaming, Starling House, and this other book that I want/need to read for October because some of those books are for a fun vlog that I'm doing, but you know, I kind of need the books to do that. So I am listening to this as well. I didn't listen to it this morning because I just kind of didn't feel like it, but I am enjoying it, and it's going good. I just, you know, need to listen to more of this. Hopefully I can do that while I do a ton of chores this weekend because, like I said, I need to do major house cleaning, and that is the perfect opportunity to read a ton. And then for my work audiobook, I am still listening to Brizinger, which I think I'm like 40% into now. It's going okay. I'm not loving this, which is so disappointing. Little kid me was obsessed with this series, and I'm like, really? Really, girl? You're obsessed with this? Cause why? And like, I think the reason why I'm not obsessed with it now is because I've read so many other better dragon books that are not so like dude bro. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when I was a kid, or like even just a couple years ago, there was just not very many fantasy books with like female main characters that I could like connect with and look up to. Like, when I was a kid, it was like a lot of dude bro fantasy. Like, I don't remember ever reading much fantasy that had female main characters and was written by women as well. Like, I remember reading a lot of male authored books as a kid, and I just loved it because there was dragons and magic, and then as an adult I've read more fantasy written by women and dragon books written by women with female main characters, and I'm obsessed with them because they're just like everything I could ever want. And this was everything I could ever want back in the day, but I just feel like it's a little cringy as well. Like, there is a marriage scene in this book. I won't say who, but it's really weird. Like, it's very like archaic in the way this marriage is being handled. It's like, okay, you're the wife, so you're gonna do all the house cleaning, you're gonna take care of the kids, and you're just gonna kind of piddle around the house, and the men are gonna like do everything else, and like you're just not gonna bother your sweet little head about anything. It's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And like, I don't love the female characters in this story very much. They just seem very like cardboard cut out, and like all the men are like the best and the strongest and the greatest, and the women are like, oh, you're so great, oh, we love you. It's like, no, not a fan. Not a fan. And yeah, so yeah, this definitely is not my fave, which is real sad because I just adored this series, and it's not holding up as well as I thought it would. I mean, it's not like, there's nothing blatantly offensive about this book, like it really isn't. I just don't like how a particular character is written in here, and she just seems so weak. And I'm like, really? She should be so much stronger, and like, I'm just not a fan. So that's my current reading update, and it is like 8:30, and I am just like physically exhausted like every single day. Tomorrow I only work 4 hours, and then it's gonna be a super fun day. Saturday will be super productive, and then fun in the evening. Sunday will be super fun as well. So that is the plan, and I will tell you all about the weekend things during the next vlog. But yeah, I will have future me come close out this vlog tomorrow. Yeah, it's been a weird week, and haven't been feeling the greatest, which I keep saying, but it's true, and it's truly just affecting everything, and it's not great. Do y'all see that bus? It just pulled into my driveway and stopped and is now backing up. What you doing? I woke up and was just feeding the cats, and suddenly there's like a school bus in my driveway. My driveway is quite narrow and quite steep, so I wasn't expecting like this bus to be there, but it has snowed a ton overnight. I think there's a good like 3 to 4 inches of snow outside, which is gonna be interesting because I'm not sure if people have their snow tires on yet. That's gonna be interesting. My car is great in snow. She is just great. I'm not worried about driving. I'm worried about the other people who are not quite used to winter driving yet, because this is like our first official snow of the year. And I feel like people just forget how to drive when there's snow on the ground. You can't see lines on the road anymore, and you know, going through intersections, like people just forget how to drive, and it's just like, yikes. So we're gonna leave with plenty of time to get to work. I'm going to drink lots of coffee before I go, so I am fully caffeinated. But just wanted to show you that that was weird. I think the bus was leaving now, but I have never had that happen before, where like a bus just pulls into my driveway. I'm like, hello? I'm glad they didn't come all the way up, because I think they would get stuck up here, because there's like nowhere to turn around, which is something I want to fix in the future for this house, is like extend it further forward in front of the house so you have more of a turnaround, because it can be really hard to get out of here. Even with my car, like if I park outside, it can be really hard to like get turned around to go back out. But anyways, happy Friday. I will go chat with you all after my super fun day with my mom, so I'll chat with you all then, but just wanted to just kick off this crazy fun day, I guess, with the bus in my driveway. Hello. It is still Friday, but it is like 3:30, and I've been home since noon, obviously, and the roads were not bad. People were driving ridiculously, which I had mentioned early this morning that they were going to be, and I was completely correct. I swear people just forget how to drive. Like as soon as the snow hits, people are just driving like maniacs, and not like fast, but like the complete opposite, like extremely slow, to the point where I passed like every person, because I'm like, you're going so slow, and there's no reason, which I'm guessing they just don't have their winter tires on, so they were driving super slow, which like is good. I'm glad they're being cautious, but it's real annoying for someone who does have their winter tires on to be stuck behind them. So yeah, I just passed like everybody, and there's like school buses stuck everywhere. I truly did not understand how people were getting stuck. It was mainly just slushy. Like it warmed up enough in the afternoon for it to kind of start melting a little bit, but yeah, so people were just driving so ridiculous, and we're supposed to get I think 3 more inches of snow this weekend, so I think it's officially winter. Like I thought with like the first little bit of snow we got, it's just gonna melt away and we'll continue on with autumn, but no, I guess we're just done. Which figures. So my mom and I decided to cancel our bowling plans because campus is built on a hill, which don't know why that was a choice. So all the roads are pretty vertical up there, and with the roads being as they are, we just decided, you know what, let's just like stay home and relax. But my mom was so tired after we had lunch that she wanted to take a nap, so she just woke up, which I think I'll head down there shortly and we're gonna just like play some games and hang out and have pizza for dinner, which is exciting, and that'll be that. But since you wanted to take a nap, I came home and started picking up the house and getting it ready for brunch on Sunday. So while I was doing that, I finished my audiobook of How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. I'm really glad I listened to this one of all the audiobooks that I'm like currently in the middle of, because I only had a little bit left, and I listened to I think like 2 hours of this while I was cleaning, because I started cleaning at like 1 o'clock, 1:30, and just sat down at like 3 to relax for a few minutes and finished it. So I actually think I liked like the last half of this book a lot more than I liked the first half. The first half was just so boring and slow to me, and I just gotta remember that's kind of how Grady Hendrix books go, which I think I've said like a million times in this vlog, but I just feel like I need to keep reiterating that, because I go in every single time with the expectation that his books are going to be super snappy, quick, and fun, which is not true because these books are like quite thick. But this one was like good. I liked it well enough, but I don't think it's my favorite of his. Like, I don't know if anything's gonna top Southern Book Club's Guide, because like that book was so perfect. But I did end up liking this one, and I obviously didn't rate it on Goodreads because we don't do that in book club until day of, but I liked it well enough. Like, I think I would probably give it like 3.5 stars. Like, I don't know if it's a book I enjoyed enough to give 4, but it's definitely one that I would recommend. And I think it takes the haunted house idea and that storyline into a completely different direction than I thought. And not to get into spoilers, but this will be completely spoiler free, but I liked how like the items of the house and like the house, not itself, but like the things in the house were like grieving for Louisa's parents. I think that was really interesting, because usually I feel like in a haunted house story, it's the house, like the physical house, that does things or messes with people, not the items in it, which I thought was an interesting twist. I don't think I've read a haunted house story that does that, because usually the house almost acts like its own character in haunted house stories, which is like my favorite thing. I love when houses are almost like another character, because houses are just so full of people, like not like literally, but you know, they're so full of people's like possessions, and you can learn so much from somebody just from like what they have in their house. And I like that the house is like its own person, but that wasn't present in this. And like I said, it's like the stuff in the house was what was haunting Louise and Mark, which I thought was a really different twist, and I did like that. Like, it's definitely different, and I liked it well enough. I think the more I talk about it, the more I like it, but I'll be curious to see what book club thinks. I feel like a lot of people are maybe not gonna like this. I feel like a lot of people in book club don't read horror, and like I am obsessed with horror, but there's also a handful of people who really, really love horror like I do. So I think it'll be maybe a mixed bag. Some people who don't like it, some people who do. So make for an interesting discussion. But I'm glad to finally have that done. I feel like I've been reading that book for decades, but that is done. So I think my next book is going to be Alone with You in the Ether, which was not on my original October TBR, but I was recently approved for an arc of this book, which I was kind of confused by, because I'm like, didn't this book come out? So I guess I have an arc of the paperback that is coming out on the 24th, but there's the hardcover of this book by Tor that's already out. So not really sure why there's a difference between the paperback and the hardcover having like 2 different arcs. Seems kind of weird to me, but I'm still really excited to read this. And because this book is already out, there is an audiobook available on Scribd, so I will be listening to that and following along with my e-arc copy, and I'm excited. So that's probably gonna be my next physical read. And then looking at my TBR, which I have pulled up on my computer behind the camera, the only other books I need to read is Juniper and Thorn, Out There Screaming, Starling House, Mr. Magic, The Family Game, From Bad to Cursed, and The Seep. So I have 8 more books to read for the month of October, and we're on the 6th. So I think we're doing pretty good. And 2 of those books are audiobooks. Actually 3. 3 are audiobooks, and the rest I have to read physically because there is no audiobooks. So like, not bad. I'm also looking at the stack of physical books I have. Not bad. I mean, they're all short, and I really don't have that much fantasy on my TBR. I just have Juniper and Thorn, which is like really short, and I have an audiobook for that. So feeling good about my TBR. I was a little stressed about it yesterday because I'm like, I have so many books I want to read, but I think we're gonna be able to do it. And sadly, all the Barnes & Noble books that I was expecting today have not come in yet. So I don't think they're gonna be here until tomorrow or even next week, because I think the snow kind of had the mail lady maybe off her game a little because she never showed up, and they said they were supposed to be here today. And now one of them says it's not going to be here till like the middle of October, like the 18th, which is Starling House. I'm like, I really need that for a video. So still waiting on that. And Out There Screaming and Knock Knock Open Wide shipped together, and I think they're supposed to be here on Saturday. And then I think there's one more package I'm missing, but I can't remember what it is. But regardless, books are on their way. Hopefully they'll be here soon, because some of those I really want to read this month. But that is basically it for this vlog. Thank you all so very much for watching. Again, I feel like this vlog, I was slacking with updates and with like b-roll. I know I filmed like no b-roll for this vlog, like at all. So apologies for that. I just kind of forgot about vlogging this week. It's just been kind of chaotic and just a lot going on, which I say in like literally every vlog, but I'm just super crazy busy now. So I will chat with you all in another video soon. Goodbye.